I'm pretty excited to talk about what we haven't been able to have a discussion about for a long time.
I love being with people. It's the most incredible thing in the world.
Marvel just released a big mashup kind of hype trailer, culminating the last 15 years leading up till now of all the Marvel movies that they've dropped. So I just want to go through the list of, I think it's about 11 movies that they're talking about in this lineup and talk about my quick thoughts and also give like a quick little rating. That way maybe you guys can relate to this. It's just fun to talk about this. Like the fact that we can talk about this and that things are coming back to the theaters, it's wonderful. I'm pretty excited. Before we hop into that though, I do just want to take a second to note that we are now on day 30 of making a video every single day until we reach 1,000 subscribers. This has been a huge undertaking and it's been really fun so far, but it's been freaking exhausting. So if you guys could subscribe, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by June 1st. If you're able to get me there by that time, I will be purchasing the biggest Transformer ever made in history and we'll be reviewing it right here on this channel. So the first one that was showed in this mashup trailer and the first upcoming one that's coming either this or later next month, I can't exactly remember, it's gonna be Black Widow. And this is, I don't know, this is kind of an interesting one for sure. Black Widow, if I'm being completely honest, is never a character I've cared too much about. I think she's all right. She's definitely developed a lot over the MCU, but I'd personally rather see a Hawkeye movie than a Black Widow one. I love Jeremy Renner. Maybe that's my thing. I think having a movie will help with that. The same way that I didn't care for Wanda and Vision, but having their own TV show, now I really care about those characters. But if I'm judging by my general excitement for it between 1 and 10 right now, I'd give Black Widow probably about a 6. The next one up is ShangChi. I hate having to pronounce this, but this movie looks actually a lot better than I was expecting. I'm not a huge kung fu movie kind of guy, and so when they dropped the first trailer, the action looks slap your mama. I should change that line. Yeah, that's offensive. Slap your daddy up good. This action looks fantastic. I mean, the punches, the kicks in this, they slap hard, and I'm excited for this. It's not like out of this roof excitement because it's not a character I have any personal like development or attachment to. But that being said, I can absolutely see them really letting you connect with this character that they're introducing. So rating this between 1 and 10 on my excitement, I'm going to give this one a 7 because we're getting a little higher up there. I'm going to be pretty hyped to see this in theaters, but it's nothing personal to me. Third one up in the alignment is Eternals. And just to be frank with you guys, I don't know anything about Eternals. I'm going to guess you probably don't either unless you're a huge comic book fanatic. I'm not that hyped for this movie. It doesn't look bad, but we also don't know what it looks like because we just got our first snippet, I believe, of what it's even going to look like today. I'm just, as of now, not that excited. I'm going to give it a generous 5, which is kind of sitting right before I'm not excited for it. Oh, let's talk about SpiderMan. SpiderMan No Way Home. Oh my gosh. This movie, okay? I love Spider-Man. Those who don't know, my childhood 2 components are Transformers and Spider-Man. What I'm saying is a different level, perhaps an unhealthy level. When I was 3 until about 7 years old, my young school teachers thought that there was something mentally wrong with me, legitimately because they thought that I actually thought I was Spider-Man in their classes. And going into my teenage years with Andrew Garfield and now Tom Holland, I loved every Spider-Man movie. I've never walked out of a Spider-Man movie hating it. This movie, with the rumors of it bringing in Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as the alternate universe Spider-Man, I don't think there's anything that they could do to get me more excited. And I say that with the most straight face that I physically can. And when I watch this movie, I don't do this often because I'm living in the little student town of Rexburg, Idaho. I will travel to the nearest IMAX theater, wherever the heck that may be, whichever one is open, and I'm going to pay whatever I need to watch this in IMAX. Obviously, you guys know this is a straight 10 out of 10. If I could rate this a 15 out of 10, I would. This will be one of the most memorable movies of all time. Flat out, period. 10, 10, 10. Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. This actually looks really good. And I'm going to assume that this movie involves a lot of the interdimensional content that is in Spider-Man No Way Home. And then I'm also going to assume that it's going to start tying in a lot of the X-Men that they now have the rights to and tying that into the MCU. I'm more excited for the potential this movie has to involve interdimensional characters and for them to really open up because Marvel is headed that direction. We're going to give that one a solid 8 out of 10. I don't have any personal ties to Doctor Strange, but I do think it's a great character and I think the movie has amazing potential. Next up is Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm going to be pretty straight about this. I really disliked Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was a joke of a movie, and I love Marvel's humor for the most part. I think it can offer some really good laughs and a good smile, and for the most part, they know how to balance it. I think the imbalance really started when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and every movie director in Marvel started to think that that's what their movie should be like. Thor Ragnarok, it was nothing but humor. That is a huge joke, and I would make a movie review about it, but honestly, it just gets me too frustrated to talk about. So knowing that this one's called Love and Thunder in big cheesy 80s letters, I'm not really excited for this movie, but I'm just going to go ahead and slap this into a 4. It doesn't look great, and I didn't like the previous offerings, and so I think this is just going to be a goofball movie, but I hope it proves me wrong. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This is such an interesting announcement, and I'm surprised that they jumped on it so soon. We all know the drama that's been going on lately and the recent sad passing of Chadwick Boseman, and in light of that, I'm really interested to see where they go with this next, and I'm excited to see where that legacy is taken. I'm going to give this one another 8 because I think it has great potential. I didn't love the original Black Panther movie. I think it had a lot of problems with it, but I think this one has a lot of potential to be good, and I love the characters that they have in Black Panther. Number 8 in the lineup is The Marvels, which is another one of the new announcements aside from Wakanda Forever. The Marvels looks incredibly unexciting, mainly because I thought Captain Marvel was one of the worst Marvel movies that we've been offered. Not because it's terrible, but because by Marvel standard, it was incredibly forgettable and super boring. And so this looks like it's going to be just as bad. As for right now, this is not exciting. I'm giving this a generous 3, if not lower than that. You know, I'm not holding my breath for this one. I'm excited for the other ones. AntMan and the Wasp Quantumanium. I don't have the title up. I don't remember what it's called. Whatever. I was definitely one of the naysayers when they announced the first Ant-Man movie, and then when the movie dropped and I watched it, it instantaneously became one of my all-time favorite Marvel movies. To this day, it is. I love it. It's so fun. Paul Rudd is perfect as Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp was also a wonderful movie, and I think that this one's going to build up to also be really good. I'm going to give that one a comfortable 8. I think it's got great potential. It has a potential to go higher to a 9, depending on what that trailer looks like, but as of now, it's already starting on a pretty high spot. Second to last would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I literally just basically stated my opinion of it when talking about Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder. This is another one that I just don't like. I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy. And so this one is going to be a 2. I have no excitement for this movie. I think the humor and the style is definitely out of touch for me. And I know a lot of people love it, and, you know, good for you if you do. But for me, not my cup of tea. I do not like those movies. And this one, I don't think is going to be any better. Last but not least, Fantastic Four. Now, this one's far off enough that they still don't have a release date announced. But when they originally dropped the logo for this in a press conference that they had a couple months ago, I could not have been more excited. I cannot be more excited for what Marvel's going to do with this team, because I've always loved the concept of the Fantastic Four. I've just hated all the movies. And if they can simply tie down John Krasinski and Emily Blunt for those roles as Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, oh man, this is going to be a build up to one of the best Marvel movies. And to see that involvement with SpiderMan and the other characters is, it's gonna be so good. So that's gonna be a straight 10 for me. I'm really excited. This, I have the highest of expectations, and I know Marvel's gonna live up to it. Okay, that's my general thoughts though. The 11 upcoming Marvel movies, I think a lot of them have potential. I just don't know about a lot of them. And then there's some that obviously we're all dying to see. Let me know which ones are your top ranked, what your biggest hype is for this upcoming movies. Tell me why it's for that or why it's for something else and what your thoughts are. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow. Later, guys.